In academia, the origin of landscapes here on Terra is settled science. The view in universities and colleges and high schools throughout the world is that everything we see in the terrain came into existence through natural forces. NASA tells us that life of any kind has been found only on this planet. That's in their article on astrobiology. And academia takes NASA as an authority. So, in earth sciences, in space sciences, in life sciences, all academics have, at the base of their thinking, the false premise that we are the first advanced race in the universe. That leads to all sorts of nonsense. Because if we are the first advanced race in the universe, then everything we see in the natural world must have come into existence through natural forces, because there were no other races here, no races with high technology to build any of it. There were no races to build continents, to build hills, mountains, valleys, riverbeds, creek beds. There are no races to build planets. There were no races to build stars. There were no races to build space, dimensions, life forms. All life forms must have come into existence through natural forces, because we are the first advanced race and we didn't create the life forms. We didn't build crickets. We didn't build grasshoppers, blades of grass, juniper trees. We didn't do any of that. And we definitely didn't build continents. We didn't have the will, the energy, the workforce. We didn't have it. So the premise is the problem. The premise at the base of all natural sciences academics thinking, all of their research, all of their publications, all of their books, my God, all of their field research, is that we can only see terrain, life forms, space objects that are natural. We can only see natural objects in the natural world. But if we set aside that premise, that false premise that we're the first advanced race in the universe, if we just set that aside for a moment, then we can ask the question, is what I'm looking at natural or artificial? The question is not being asked in the universities, in the high schools. No one's asking that question in those sciences, in those disciplines. And that's the problem. So everyone's working in a dead end. They're inside of a cul-de-sac they can't get out of. So a geologist looks out onto the terrain on his daily hike and he says, I must come up with mechanisms for how this terrain, how this hill, how this riverbed, how this mountain came into existence. What is the natural mechanism that created it? And so that's what geologists spend their lives doing. Because they have this false premise that we're the first advanced race. This premise doesn't leave room for the idea that advanced races might have built the terrain. So once we set aside that false premise, then we have the ability to ask the question, is what I'm looking at natural or artificial in the natural world? And that includes when we're out on our hikes, in and on the terrain of Terra. And Terra is the name of our planet. Earth is not the name of our planet. We are here at Muley Point, Utah, just 10 miles north of Mexican Hat, to diagnose the continental building of the true ancients who used 45-degree diagonal sectioning in their creek banks and riverbanks. Now below us is the San Juan River, right down there. And you can see the 45-degree angle sectioning that they used. Here's a block that's come out, a section that's come out. It's as big as a small house. And you can see the pointer of the adjoining section into the canyon, into the San Juan River Canyon. See that 45-degree angle point? Now we've seen this all around the world in creek banks and river banks, and the pointers tell us that the riverbanks and creek banks are built. There's also points inward. So when 45-degree angle lines meet, you've got the point inward, right? And that's where that block lay for millennia. And then you've got the 45-degree angle point outward. You can see the 45 there as well. So all those 45-degree angle pointers are telling us that this is constructed. Now let's move on this way to see more 45-degree angle pointers into the San Juan River Canyon. So that's where we were, and we diagnosed that pointer. We diagnosed this 45-degree angle pointer into the canyon. And now we're going to diagnose this 45-degree angle pointer into the canyon. You can see the 45-degree angle sectioning even in this line here all the way back here. See how it goes? Straight line. Geology has no explanation for that straight line, but the continental terraforming theory does. So that's quite a long section, right? And it's pointing into the canyon. The continental terraforming theory, which is the continent building theory, proposes that for structural strength, advanced races built with 45-degree angle sectioning to the flow of water courses. And we've documented that all across the world. And here we have it again. And geology just says this just happened. It just happened this way. This just happened? Okay. That's not explanatory. So you have a theory that doesn't explain anything. They have no explanation for the consistent, insistent 45-degree angle pointers into valleys and riverbeds and creek beds all around the world. Now let's move east a bit and diagnose the next pointer. Oh, another straight line, 45-degree angle. Seam between section, not crack, but seam between two sections of crystalline concrete. Not a crack between two rocks. The fairy tale of geology is quite astounding. It's so elaborate. You can see this 45-degree angle construction. This massive block is coming out. This small house-sized block is coming out, and it's pointing in at a 45. Here's another 45-degree angle defined section. It's pointing in at a 45 to the canyon. Anyone can see it if they look. Geologists don't look. Why? No one knows. Actually, we do know. It's because of the schooling. It tells them that everything came into existence through natural forces. So, another pointer into the San Juan Canyon, the San Juan River Canyon. Another pointer into the San Juan River Canyon, 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 and geologists say it all just happened. It's just random. It's happenstance. It doesn't mean anything. So this vertically defined section, and there's no mechanism for verticality in sandstone. That's what this is supposed to be, is sandstone, natural sandstone. There's no mechanism for verticality. So that vertical line there should not and cannot ever happen in natural sedimentary layers. And here's another line between two sections, vertical line, regular verticality cannot happen in sandstone. Geologists just go, well, it's just the way it formed, don't worry about it. They're protecting lower layers with hard upper layers. See it all around the world. And you can see the alternating hard and soft layers of crystalline concrete, not rocks, not natural geology, everywhere you look. Alternating harder and soft layers, soft earthquake mitigating layers. I've mentioned this 500 times in my videos, ever since the Bosnian Pyramid Complex videos, where they built the entire complex out of clay, alternating hard and soft layers. But whether the material is clay or sandstone, quartz-rich material, let's not call it sandstone because that implies natural geology, but quartz-rich material, the ancients did use alternating hard and soft layers to keep their structures strong through time. They wanted their structures to remain strong. We are here at Muley Point East in Utah, diagnosing the construction of the true ancients, the advanced races who came long before us, who built the continents from the creek beds and riverbeds up. Now, I've documented on 3 continents, Africa, North America, and Eurasia, that riverbeds and creek beds are built with the primary construction angle of 45 degrees. And we see the same angle of construction here in Utah. And we're just going to look at the 45-degree angle sectioning that they used in their crystalline concrete. So the pointers are telling us that this is constructed. There are other reasons to believe that this is constructed, to know that it is. All of this, this entire point, that's Muley Point there, and we're on Muley Point East right now. There are lots of reasons to believe that all of this was constructed. Now, humans didn't do that. That is, Terran humans did not do that. So then the question is, who did? Where did they get the material? And what was their purpose in building out of crystalline concrete? Was it to create a thriving biosphere? Because the plants would use the crystalline minerals for their purposes, and then animals can come along and assimilate the minerals because the plants have made this crystalline concrete's material bioavailable to us. Let's move in even more closely on this 45-degree angle sectioning. I'm just going to move really slowly for the geologists. They, like all of us, have endured 12 years minimum of trauma-based mind control known as schooling. And they have learned, as we have learned, all of us, that the terrain came into existence through natural forces. So when a geologist looks at this, he cannot see what he's looking at. When a geologist looks at these 45-degree angled, vertically defined sections of material, she or he cannot see what she or he is looking at. Geologists can see only what they have been told. They're looking through the geological filter. And that's the filter that we all have, until we break out of it. And you can see my video, Geological Filter, in the Enchanted Rock, Return to Enchanted Rock series. I want to remind all of the earth sciences academics, especially geologists, that there is no mechanism, there is no natural mechanism to create vertically defined sections of material in sedimentary landscapes. And yet, what we find is vertical definition throughout. All of those are vertically defined. In fact, the bluff itself, the cliffside itself is vertically defined. And then you have the vertical lines, straight lines. And regular vertical faces. Now, regular horizontal faces to material could be explained by natural sedimentary geology. But we have also vertically defined sections, and that cannot be explained by natural geology. The continent building theory, the continent terraforming theory, the continental terraforming theory explains what we see. The theory of geology does not explain what is seen in the terrain. Where did the true ancients, the continent builders, get the material to build the continents? Where did they get the astonishing amount of crystalline mineral material to build landscapes all across our planet? They got the material from the ether. Academia has discarded the ether, and it's just a void out there. So light has no medium for travel. It just travels. But before academia discarded the ether, scientists knew, and this includes Nikola Tesla, that light needed a medium to travel, and that medium was the ether. They called it the luminiferous ether. Why? Because it was light radiant? No, because the ether was light bearing. It was the medium for travel for light. And Nikola Tesla said that light can be nothing else than a sound wave in the ether. Just as sound needs air to travel through, Nikola Tesla said that light needs an etheric medium to travel through space, to reach us from the stars. He was not the first to propose this. But academia wants to discard everything Tesla, and hence they have to discard the ether, which is the source of what we would call free energy. It is not just the source of energy, but the source of matter. So the quarry for all matter, the quarry for everything we see here, the quarry for planetary material is the ether. So the true ancients knew, and Tesla said that we would one day find this out too, how to whirl the ether, how to helically whirl, to put into motion in a spiraling way the ether to create matter. The motion of the ether is matter. So as soon as you put ether in motion, you have material. So that's where they got the material to build continents, to build planets. I propose that all planets are built by advanced races. Now, we're not an advanced race. We think we're an advanced race. We think we have high technology. Well, we're on the way to developing high technology. But for the truly advanced races in the universe who have come before us, planet building is child's play. So building continents would not be a problem for them. We see the evidence of their continent building everywhere we go. See the evidence? See this? Jock Doubleday reporting from Muley Point East, Utah, on a blustery, beautiful day here on Terra, the real name of our planet. Now I just want to mention that there's no cracks in this material. See how strong it is? Here's a seam, a straight line seam joining it together. There's no cracks. It's not breaking apart. It's totally integral, totally strong, right? Totally strong. Wherever you look, it's strong, strong, strong. See this? Strong, strong, strong. Everywhere. Strong, strong, strong. Strong. Now, this is what a crack looks like. Do you see that that is not straight? Geologists want us to think that straight line cracks are appearing throughout the terrain on our planet. No, this is what a crack looks like, an actual crack which found weaknesses in the material. See how jagged it is? Absolutely 100% not straight. Why is it cracked? Because a car ran over it. Probably a truck ran over this and broke it apart. Maybe 10 trucks before it finally broke. But that's really hard concrete, and yet there are weaknesses in it. If this concrete were breaking apart at all, it would be like this. You'd see cracks like this. We don't see anything like this. All we see is straight lines. All we see is straight lines. So that means that the geologists are incorrect in saying that all of those straight-lined sections, those vertically defined faces on those sections, are natural cracks. They're not cracks. Geologists tell us that those are from tectonic forces. It's total, utter nonsense. Artifact Terra, hashtag Artifact Terra, is where you can find other videos that I've done and other work. We're here on a beautiful day, occasionally windy, but absolutely gorgeous. And we're going to continue the search for the truth about humanity's past and the truth about our mysterious planet, the truth about Terra herself.